Hey everyone, and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. So today, I've pretty much got a tip for the melee players that I think is going to be really big. Of course, you know, I mainly play a hunter as a main, but every time I hop into melee, I realize, yeah, it's a bit of a pain when you're in a melee cluster. You can't really see what's going on, and your camera is pretty much looking at the arse of whatever you're fighting, assuming it's a, you know, large boss mob. So today I'm going to show you essentially the dynamic cam settings that I'm using to make the game's camera something that is more comfortable to play for melee, especially when you're fighting large raid bosses. So to quickly hop in game, I'm actually using an add-on here that uses the action cam functionality. You don't actually need to do any action cam stuff though, and if you don't want any of the sort of, you know, more actiony features, you can purely use this to get a more customizable camera. So basically the core of what I'm doing here, and you can see that my camera is operating on a slightly different kind of pivot to what the normal camera is kind of like. So when I go and change the base FOV pad, you see right now we're pretty much at the normal camera where we're looking straight down at my character. Now, what's a bit of a pain here is if something's really tall, it's going to be clipped by the top of the screen, and in general, that'll just dominate everything that you can see. Well, if I change this FOV pad, the camera's now acting a little bit more differently. Now, this is something that kind of happened when you just use the console command to activate the action cam, but actually being able to dial in the settings to what you find comfortable is a very big benefit. Now, there is something you can do on top of that, the base FOV pad downscale, so you can see what that's sort of doing. What it does do for me, though, that I don't really like, is it moves my camera too far down on the screen, so the people that are around my character, I can't really see them, but that might be a setting that you would actually want to play with. So while you can use dynamic cam, and it's, you know, different sort of situations and things to create some, you know, more immersive sort of camera movements for the gameplay, you can actually use it if you're doing raiding and things like that to give yourself a camera that has sort of more customized functionality. Now, the reason why I'm here in the Firelands is because it's full of really big things, specifically Ragnaros. He's a big boy, as is the other rock dude who's the first boss, so I'm going to quickly test this out on those bosses to pretty much show you what this is like. Alright, so we're here at Lord Rylith. The first thing you'll probably notice is already I can see more of him than with normal camera settings, and I just find that this is something that's a little bit more comfortable for the larger bosses. Now, Rylith is perhaps an extreme example as far as large bosses go, and by the way, the reason my UI is a bit strange is I was just doing... Wow, I killed him already! That was a complete accident. I'm doing a bit of a experiment with parenting weak ores elements to the personal resource display. What that means is that if I just zoom in a little bit, all this stuff is basically following my character. I don't really know a good use for that at the minute, but I'm pretty much just messing around with it. Anyway, let's go look at some other bosses. So actually something that's a pretty good demonstration of this is just getting loads of regular trash around me, and pretty much just seeing how that is a lot more kind of easy to view. Right now, of course, I'm in front of these mobs, so it's a bit strange to see, but yeah, so when I'm like this, everything's comparatively a little bit smaller on my screen, and I just think this is a more comfortable overall sort of view for being a melee character for your situational awareness. Now, one thing that I think isn't active because I'm technically not in a raid group is, and this is something that would really help you out if you were having issues like that, is if you go into game, and then I believe into display, raid self-highlight, defaults to circle. You can also put that to an outline, so you'll see an outline of your character through everything. But really, I think this is actually all that I particularly need to show for this. No point really doing Ragnaros, because Rylith's almost a better example, as is this Molten Lord guy. What I can do, though, is I can sort of toggle some of the settings here to show you a before and after. So let's just change the dynamic pitch settings. I'll wait till I'm kind of, bump back like this. Okay, so here's what I am normally. You know, I can't really, like, you know, this stuff's kind of dominated. I'm sort of stuck in my character. I can click dynamic pitch, and when I move the camera like this, I can kind of see a little bit more comfortably in my view. I suppose it's really that thing where you'd rather be seeing the entire mob that you're fighting. One thing that you do lose with this a little bit is you actually see behind your character a tiny bit less. Now, there might be times where that's actually a bad thing, but I think overall for the comfort that this sort of view brings, I think it's a lot nicer and the sort of clarity. That's pretty much it for this video, though. The add-on is called Dynamic Cam. Its author's name is MP Stark. You can find a link to that down in the description for this video. So this could be something that the raiders out there will be able to use to sort of tweak their gameplay experience and get a camera that you feel a little bit more comfortable with. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.